Hello and welcome to today's Stamping and Creating with Fiona. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fiona Whitten and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Wokingham, Berkshire in the UK. So I do these Stampin' and Creating events a few Wednesdays a month. Oh dear, I'm not having a good day today. So a few Wednesdays a month, this being one of them. And I wanted to share a technique with you today. I normally share a fun fold or a technique or something that's new. And today it's actually something new and a technique. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you about the baby wipe technique. And I'm going to show you projects made using the Lovely and Lasting stamp set. So the baby wipe technique is something that I was introduced to, probably the first Stampin' Up event that I ever went to, which must be about 10 years ago now. And it was just one of those, you sit there or you stand there and you watch and you go, wow, I'd never thought of that. And as the name suggests, it involves baby wipes, cheap and cheerful, the best ones to get, and ink refills and stamps and paper. So all things that we love. So I'm going to be using the Lovely and Lasting stamp set, which is a photopolymer stamp set. Normally in the past when I've done the baby wipe technique, we've used the red rubber, the cling mount stamps. And I did panic when I was doing this one, which is the one I'm going to share with you and show you how I did it. I did panic thinking, oh crumbs, I'm not sure that it's going to turn out very well. And it has, it's lovely. I'm really, really happy with it. And then this one, just so you know and can compare, this one was actually made using a cling mount stamp set. So you're not going to get a full-on block colour. It will have some stippling and things on it because you're picking up the ink from some baby wipes. So don't be surprised if you see this effect. That's how it's supposed to be. If you prefer to have a solid block colour, then just simply use your ink pads because you're not going to achieve a solid block colour using this technique. But you can use any stamp set, you can use any ink refills. So the supplies that you need other than the stamp set and some card are baby wipes. These are like cheap and cheerful from that well-known supermarket. You will also need a mat, a silicone mat, so that you can put your baby wipes on it. And if you're like me, I like to keep my baby wipes once I've inked them up, and they will keep in a plastic bag for a good few days. I just stuck them on a lid from a takeaway box because it was just a lot easier to pick it up rather than get it all on my hands. You will get inky, do not be surprised, and eventually all the ink will have gone through. So to start with, and I'm just going to show you from scratch so you can see exactly how to do it. So you're going to need 3 or 4 baby wipes, which is why I was saying cheap and cheerful. You don't need to get the expensive ones with all the lovely fragrant smells. Non-fragrance probably better because it's got less additives and things in there. So I've got 2 on there already, and I'm going to put a 3rd. So you just need to fold them in half and then just simply pile them on top of each other. Now, the size that you want here depends very much on what you're planning on stamping with. The ink, when you start putting on, will spread, and it takes a while to do that. But I'm using the large stamp from the, as I said, the Lovely and Lasting. So this is the one that I'm using. It is actually shown on the front of the box as 85%, so it is actually much larger in real life. If you're using photopolymer, you will get some staining on their thing. So the other thing that you need to have to hand is also something to clean your stamps. Simply because if you're doing multiples, you will need to clean in between, because you are not going to be, it's very unlikely that you are going to be putting your stamp in exactly the same place that you've already stamped it. So layering these, this is effectively making your ink pad. They don't need to be sopping wet. These are just damp to the touch, which is just how they need to be. If you bear me 2 seconds, let me just double sure that I'm live, which I think I am, which is good. And I also can't hear myself, which is even better. So we've got 4 folded baby wipes on a silicone mat. You can use a plate, something, basically it needs to sit on something that's not going to absorb the ink. And then you need a selection of ink refills. So this one I made using, I used polished pink, which is this very bright pink colour. I used pale papaya, which is this orangey colour. I also used fresh freesia, which is the purple colour. And I would like to say I actually used the soft succulent, which is the green. Now the inks will sort of react with the baby wipes, so and they'll look very bright, but don't worry. And the idea is that when you're making up your ink pad, you are going to start with the darkest colour. The reason for doing that is you can then use the lighter colours to fill in, whereas if you start with the light and get darker, you'll find that the dark, that it will spread. So if you start with the dark first, then it's always easier to then fill in with the light colours. So I'm actually going to use as many pinks as I could find. So I do have a whole selection which I've pulled out of my ink stands. So I do have, so I've still got polished pink. I've also got, should be Flirty Flamingo, Calypso Coral, Blushing Bride and Petal Pink. Now I could add Pale Papaya and I could add some greens, but I don't think I will. I think I'm just going to stick with those. So like I said, we're going to start with the darkest colour, and all you're going to do is simply put drops of the ink random places. There is no way you are going to be able to create an image just with this ink. Let's see, let's put another one there and put a big one there. And so these will slowly spread. I think the other one took about 5-10 minutes before it was fully spread. So just start by putting the ink in between each other. And as I said, you don't need a lot, just a drop in each spot. You can always go back and fill in with more colours. Plus, I've also got 5 colours here. So we've done polished pink and also the Flirty Flamingo. So now I'm going to go for Calypso Coral, which is more of an, oh, this is going to be interesting because that's going to be more of an orangey colour. So I'm not going to go too mad with that. It will be slightly different from the Flirty Flamingo. Love how that word flirty rolls off your tongue. Right, now I'm going to use a bit more Blushing Bride. You don't need to shake your ink refills. And as I said, the idea is that you will eventually end up with a pile of baby wipes where all the colours have merged. So you can use as many or as few colours as you want. You can do a theme like this where I'm going for all the pinks. Obviously you can do all blues. It really depends very much on what you're stamping. Now I think that lot is going to spread, so I'm not going to worry too much now. I'm just going to leave it for a few minutes. And I'm going to put that to one side. Let's just move that. Bring that one back in. Move that away. And I shall bring this back as I'm going to use that underneath this, seeing as I'm already using my silicone mat. Right, okay, so as I said, this is the one that I made earlier. The nice thing about the photopolymer stamps is that you can sort of vaguely place where you want to pick up the ink from. Obviously, when it comes to the cling, you're just second guessing. But I do like how this comes out very random. So as I said, this is the first card that I made using this particular ink pad. And I'm going to stamp the inside. Now I just want, I'm just going to go for it basically. Ink it up, try and get as much ink as possible on it. I do have a foam rubber mat underneath my grid paper. So you probably can't see it very well, but there is ink on there. And I'm just going to stamp the corner. So it's not until I actually stamp down that you will see. So that's the corner of my card. Now I could do a sentiment. And I have found that you can use line images. Obviously it will just be the line will be going along in different colours. So really it is more the block images that work better. Now if I don't want my stamp sets here. Right, so I'm going to stamp the thank you, because that's quite a large letter and it's solid. Now I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go here. What the heck? There we go. So that's going to go on the inside of my card. Like so. I'm going to get my envelope, as I like to send envelopes that have been decorated. Now this is where you want to make sure that you have cleaned this stamp, because as I said, although this is photopolymer, you are not going to be able to get it in exactly the same place as it was. So if you clean it off, like so, there is a bit of staining on there. It's hardly surprising seeing as we're using pinks and things. So, and again, I'm just going to ink it up. Obviously you don't want to move it around on there as you're inking it up. Make sure you don't have anything on your hands, otherwise you'll be transferring it to whatever it is that you're stamping on. There we go. So it's quite a delicate image that you will get. The longer you leave it, it will start to not be as dark on the top because it's sunk all the way through. But that's that. So I've done all my bits for that card. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like now. This has been sitting there for a while. Kind of looks like a bit like a leopard print. So I'm going to clean my stamp again. Let's see, do we have another one that we do have a different one that we could use, but I'm going to use this again. This time I've already die cut out a piece of basic white. This is using these scallop contour dies. Let's see how this goes. Could be interesting. Could be good, could be bad. Don't be fooled by the look of that. I think this is actually going to be quite pretty. Now the image is going to go slightly outside the die cut, or at least the inner part. Just make sure, because it is quite a large stamp, that you're pushing down in the middle. There we go. So who'd have thought we would get that pretty image from rather funny looking ink splodges. But I do like that. So I'm going to clean again. As I said, you need a clean, otherwise it will be a bit of a mess. And we're going to do the piece to go on in the inside of the card. Which is this piece. And oh yeah, it's right in front of me. I'm just going to turn it and get slightly different colours. And again, I'm only stamping the corner. And then I'm going to use I think I'm going to use Happy Birthday. I think there's a Happy Birthday in here. Let's see. There is a Happy Birthday. This one is quite a thin line when it comes to the letters. So I'm not too sure how well it's going to come out, but there's also some very cute little flowers in here that you can do exactly the same thing with. In fact, I may use them for the envelope. So I'm going to use the Happy Birthday this time, see how that comes out. I'll just put that on my block. Bring that a bit closer to me so I can actually see what I'm doing. It's there, it's a little bit faded in the middle. Might have been better off going for the darker colours, but hey, it's the playing around and just trying these things. You've got nothing to lose at the end of the day. You're just stamping on some basic white cardstock. If needs be, you can just simply turn it over and stamp again. So it's not too bad. Right, this one I'm going to, let's see. I think I'm just going to stamp in the corners. See, I could, in theory, let's try it, just go for that polished pink. So I've got polished pink in that corner. Now I am going to cheat, and I'm going to actually just simply pick up the colours from anywhere on this. So I'm just going to do all 4 corners. Maybe I'll go back for the polished pink. I'll do that corner. And let's see, go here, I think. I guess if you're going to put a stamp on it, you're not necessarily going to see this particular corner, but hey. And then we could put something in the middle if we wanted to, but I'm not going to. So that's basically that stamping for that card done. Let's just put this out of the way so I don't end up putting something in it. So I'm going to use exactly the same cardstock colours, and well, not quite the same, I should say. So what I've actually got this time, so this first one, it's a polished pink card base, and then I've used basic black, and then this paper is from the Penciled Petals. And this is exactly the same, except this is Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to put a piece of polished pink on top. And then some of the paper from the same Penciled Petals. And then this can go on top. So this will pick out the colours that are on the card base and the panel. We could add, I think we'll just add some gemstones. Could just simply add a sentiment and just do it black across. Let's see now. Could do oh hello. Might just do that, because that's all in one line. So it's not actually going to detract, but because this is photopolymer, you can actually put it over the top and just have a look about placement and see if you would be happy with that. And I think that would be quite cute. The only issue is that I don't have, yes I do. I do have a tuxedo black ink pad here. So I'm going to stamp this before I start gluing it all together. And I guess you wouldn't normally have oh hello and then happy birthday, but hey, I just really want to show you what it'll look like. I'm going to stamp the oh hello here. Like that. Maybe I'll change the thing for the middle and just go without the happy birthday. I'll keep that for another time. So I'm just going to recut another piece of basic white to the inside. Just grabbing my trimmer. So I know it needs to be 10 centimetres by 14.4 centimetres. So that's what I'm going to cut it to. Like so. This time we're not going to stamp the birthday sentiment. We are just simply going to stamp the flower, which I need to clean before I do anything else again. These Simply Chamois are a godsend, because you just simply, I mean, I keep mine in a one of the thin stamp cases. And I keep it damp, and this will keep it damp, but it also allows it to breathe because it's not completely sealed, which is quite nice. Otherwise they kind of steam up and go a bit mouldy. So you have to be aware of that. But if you put it in one of these, you can put it in a plastic bag as well. Just make sure, and then eventually over time it will simply dry up, and then you just need to put it under the tap again, and it'll go soft and you can use it again. But I only ever use water on mine, so I just wring it out and then use it again. And it holds the ink. I probably should change it at some point because it does look pretty yuck. Right, so that's my inside. So I'm going to glue that inside, seeing as that's where it's supposed to go. So has anyone had a chance to look at the kits collection yet? Because there's some very cute kits in there, and at the moment for this month, if you buy one, you can get 50% off a second, which is an absolute bargain. They're great because they come boxed up. They're fully inclusive, so that means that if you're doing a card kit, it's got ink and it's got a block and it has all the foam pads and things like that. So you just put the box in your suitcase, and off you go on holiday. And then if you feel you need to have a little bit of a break from sitting in the sun or whatever it is that you're doing, then you can just get it out and do a little bit of crafting. They also make really, really good gifts because, as I mentioned, they are fully inclusive. So if someone is just learning how to stamp, then it's a really good way to make a start. And of course, at the end, when you've finished making all the cards or whatever it is in the kit, you'll still have your stamp set. So you can then carry on and make other things with it. Which is, but if you're not into cards, there's all sorts of other things. There's things that you can craft with the kids. There's art for the walls, wall decor. There's all sorts of things that you can get. Right, so I think I'm going to pop that up onto some dimensional, some foam pads, she says. And you know me, I put them somewhere and then I can never find them. But I found them, woohoo! So I'm doing all right today. I'll just put a few on here. I'm not going to go too mad. I will just put one in each corner. I think one in the centre, because it's not exactly going to have an awful lot extra bits put on it. I'll put some rhinestones on in a second just to finish it off. And I'll put that on there in the centre, like that. And then I need some rhinestones. Now I had some iridescent gems here a minute ago because that's what I put. So these are the iridescent gems. And they pick up the colours, so they're a nice thing to use. So that's what I'm going to use. I've almost finished my pack, so I guess I need to order some more. I have an order going in on the 11th, so if there's anybody who needs anything or would like me to add their order to mine because you can come collect it, then let me know and I can do that. And I'll just simply send you an invoice for the items that you want. And we'll do another one, I think, and put one down here. There we go. I'm happy with that. So that's that. So that's my finished card. So we used all the pinks. So we have Polished Pink, Flirty Flamingo, Calypso Coral, remember now, Blushing Bride, Petal Pink, I think that was it. It was 5 of them. Yep. So that's the effect using those. Although you would not have thought that this would actually produce that, which is kind of cool, good fun. You can, if you're not careful, get very, very inky. So you have been warned, but it is a fun technique to do. I've done classes on this and everyone had a lot of fun. And even though everybody used the same stamp set and the same ink colours, they all came out differently. Simply because the placement of where you put your spots of ink. So the refills are all available individually, just so that you know. And then this is also the ink that you would use to put onto your ink pads when your ink pads start to go dry. So dual purpose. And you can also use them for other colouring techniques as well. So that's one card, which I've done using the that one. Don't really want to put that on top, but we'll go like that so that you can see. So that one created that one, and then this one created that one. So just by using different colours, you will have a completely different look. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. A quick reminder, Kits Collection, buy one, get 50% off. I have a class towards the end of the month, and you will find details of it on oakfieldcrafts.com. If you click on the Classes Kits tab at the top, it will then have a pop down and you can then go on and see what it's all about. And booking closes on the 11th, which is this coming Saturday. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, of course, the January to June mini catalogue runs out. I say runs out. It stops at the end of this month. So you will find on the online store that there are some items that have been reduced. So if there's anything there that you would like me to add to my order, as I said, I'm placing an order on the 11th. If you can collect for me, that's great. Then you won't have to pay the P&P. If things need to be shipped to you, then there will be P&P payable. But then you don't have to then arrange for things to come and collect or anything like that. It will ship direct to you via UPS. And that's it for today. Next week, it's a card and a cuppa week. I'm not actually going to be here. I'm away with my husband. He's on business in Switzerland and I'm going with him. So we're going to have a mini break just for a couple of days. So Carol, bless her, is going to be doing the card and a cuppa over at Home Grange in the morning. So don't forget your kits. There are a couple of spare that will be going with Carol. And also the afternoon, the virtual card and a cuppa, I will still do one, but it will be recorded. So that's on my list of things to do before I go away. So it will post on the Facebook page at the usual time of 2:30. Okay, well, have a good week. Any questions, pop them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. Obviously, if there's any questions about the technique, I'm more than happy to let you know how to do it, what colours I've used. There will be photos going up as well, and also the video will be uploaded to YouTube. So anyway, take care and I'll see you soon.